Welcome to round number 2. We're on the play and we've got a nice looking hand. We're not going to mulligan this. See if our opponent is here. He's kept as well, so we want to lead on War Falcons. He's going to present the fastest clock possible. And it's a Cloud Post deck, so I think what we're going to want to do is play our 1-drop and play our Bone Splitter so that we can try and get the absolute fastest amount of damage we possibly can. So we're going to play Javelineers, attack for 2, and then play Bone Splitter. Next turn we can equip, attack for 5, and play a 2-drop. So we're going to do that. Go ahead and pass. See what the follow-up is. There's so many variations of Cloud Post. They're all difficult for us. So it's going to be an uphill battle no matter what, but it will be nice to get that information and really work out what's next on the agenda for us. Looks like he doesn't have a color yet. I'm anticipating a Mole Drifter next turn. We can also attempt to play out our 2 creatures, which is an option. So if he's going to play Mole Drifter next turn, is it worth getting in for 5 now, taking him to 13, and having 1 less body? Or is it worth... Yeah, I think it's actually worth hitting him for 5 now. The extra 2 damage is pretty important to me. So next turn he can trade with the Sky Hunter and still take 5, taking him down to 8. So I think we want to do it this way. He's going to have to discard as well. So we've got 7 power on the board if he doesn't have a color source or something. I'm pretty certain he does, so... Yeah, it looks like he's just going to slam Mole Drifter, and he's going to have to discard. Or maybe it's a Compulsive Research. Could it be a Cloud of Fae and then a Temporal Fissure? It could be. That'd be interesting. I'm going to go ahead and F6. He's going to snap. He might Fissure our other guys. Nope, Seagate Oracle. And hopefully no other plays. What we want to do is crack up top for 4 and then play our 2 other creatures out. That'll take him to 9. He played his land. So I'm going to play the Sky Hunter now. He knows we have it. Take him to 9. We've got 6 power in the air. We may want to consider shooting him with the Javelineer. But it might be too soon to make that decision. I'm going to go ahead and play our other threat. We have the Javelineer up in order to shoot down a Cloud of Fae or something like that. And he's on 2 turns. He's got to kill these 2 creatures or do something to stop them. We're really hoping he doesn't draw into a Mole Drifter or a Glimmer Post. It's pretty clear that he's got Fissure in hand because he's thinking about, you know, how is he going to be able to best make use of it. That's my guess. So he's evoking Mole Drifter. It looks like he may actually go for a Ghostly Flicker. It's unfortunate that he has Mole Drifter. I really wish he wouldn't have a Ghostly Flicker here, but that's probably going to be the case. So how do we attack in that instance? I think we have to try and gun him down with the Javelineer, equip the Javelineer, send all of our guys. We're going to lose 2 of them, and he's going to go down to 5. I think that's actually our best bet. We could also just leave up the Javelineer to try and protect against Cloud of Fae. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, maybe that's what we do. I'm really not sure. He's going to have a lot of cards. How much is that 1 extra damage going to matter? We have to really ask ourselves. We're very behind right now. Regardless, taking him to 8 and then sacking the Javelineer to get in 1 extra damage is pretty bad for us. There's nothing we can do here. Let's let that happen. So if we just equip the Doomed Traveler and attack, he can eat one of these and trade and only take 2. And then we still have a way to stop Cloud of Fate. Or we can take him to 8, equip the Javelineer, send him all. He takes another 3 and goes down to 6. However, I'm really concerned that he's just going to play a Cloud Post here, or a Glimmer Post, and gain 3 more. So I think we're going to leave the Javelineer behind. We maybe should go for the Jugular, but I'm not going to. Let's see what he pitches. 2 islands. We end up drawing another Javelineer. So we're still going to equip the Traveler, swing with all 3 of those creatures. He's going to take 2, it looks like. Probably lose his guys. Then I think we're going to equip this Javelineer and play the next one. We're also going to play the land, because first of all, he's going to bounce permanents, so we want as many permanents on the board. And we also want to play out lands up to the point where we play Squadron Hawk. That way we can resolve as many as possible. So now he's going to 3, which is good. Let's go ahead and play this. And we're going to equip the Javelineer. So he's going back up to 7. We have 2 damage ostensibly right there. Looks like another Mole Drifter's coming down. There's a snap, so let's go ahead and just ping him. He's going to end up playing Cloud of Fate. Yeah, so let's just ping him to the face. And we pretty much have no responses at that point. We're going to lose all our permanents, it's looking like, and we're going to lose this game pretty swiftly. In a pretty unforgiving fashion. So he looks like he's going to get Ghostly Flicker with that. And then we're pretty much hosed. Our only chance is to get him while he's tapped out with a Journey to Nowhere. Let's just go ahead and F6. That's our absolute only chance here. So I think he can just do infinite mana, but I'm not positive. Yeah, he can do infinite mana with this. So let's let him do that. And this is at least running down his clock, which is kind of nice. But other than that, it's just kind of boring. I apologize if you guys are getting bored. This is kind of how the game is going to pan out. I don't think we have a chance to win, but we can try and run down the clock for what it's worth. Just taking a sip of water there. After board, what we're going to want to do is cut the Prismatic Strands and probably some number of Journey. We want to bring in Guardian's Pledge and additional threats. And that's going to help us have a faster clock and maybe steal some games, because we're going to need to steal some games. So he's just going to keep doing this. Three Cloud of Fate is pretty rough. But he still has to beat us, I mean. So this should take a lot of time off of his clock, which could be a benefit. Maybe this guy is not as familiar with the deck. So maybe, you know, running him out of time could be a viable option. Otherwise, this is a very difficult matchup. I can't stress that enough. It's just we're not built to beat a deck like this consistently or on a regular basis. So you have to keep that in mind. But you know, some of the benefits, his deck is going to take more decision making. It's going to take more time off of his clock. And he has to get to this point where he can do these things. It's not that hard when you have the Cloud Post Mana engine, but our deck is maybe a little bit better with mulligans. I don't even know if that's true. They're probably fairly even, since he's also a monocolor, it looks like. So we're just watching him bounce, bounce, bounce. And he just wants to be able to Temporal Fissure for as much as possible. He might also just have a Grape Shot and like a Prophetic Prism sitting in his hand. But he's just going to do this as many times as he needs to. And he still has to win the game, so that's also going to take a lot of time off of his clock. He's going to play a Seagate Oracle. It's going to flicker again. And the process is going to continue. Looks like he's ready to Fisher now. Not sure. Looks like he's ready to Fisher now. So the storm count is 24. I mean, for him to pick all these 24 separate targets is also going to take time. So just remember that. We're going to keep playing. It may seem obnoxious or foolish, but I think it's actually a viable choice for us. One of our only options is to keep playing this out. And so there goes everything we have. Just goes back into our hand. We're definitely going to have to pitch some cards. He's going to let the rest of them fizzle. So he didn't really need the storm count to reach 25. And he bounced the mnemonic wall as well. And there's an expedition map. And there's another one. So we're just going to go ahead and play the War Falcon. We're going to pitch a Bone Splitter and a couple lands. Actually, we'll just pitch 2 lands, because he can do this all day long. And yeah, he's just going to kind of repeat this process. We're going to F6 again. I mean, basically, we're just staying in the game to continue running down his clock. So that's what we want to do. He's getting back Ghostly Flicker. He's got all the expedition maps in the world. Yeah, this is a really bad matchup for us. Which is one of the reasons that this deck is probably not... It's definitely not the best choice. It's probably not one of the best, or one of the most viable choices. It hasn't seen play in a long time. And at least regular play or consistently successful play. And this is the main reason, is that there's so many variants of Cloud Post right now, between the multiple Fisher decks, between the Izzet Cloud Post, which is still a factor. That really does a number on this deck. So we're just going to pitch a land and kind of force him to go through the motions. I'm going to F6 again. I mean, we're seeing more of his deck, but that's not really all that relevant. The fact that he had Snap so early on helped him out a lot, and he was able to get a turn 3 Mole Drifter, which was a huge benefit for him. It's going to go ahead and cycle that. Again, we're just sitting in here to try and slow him down. If he doesn't Fisher us, yeah, he's going to Fisher. Yeah, I mean, this is getting us up 6 minutes on his clock, something like that. He's just going to make sure he has enough storm count to get the mnemonic wall back and keep it moving. He's actually going to preordain. Let's at least see what he does with that. Bottom, top. There's a prism. And he still has mana to keep going with this. Maybe he has a Grape Shot finish. I'm not sure. We will have to wait and see. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he did see Bone Splitter out of us. And we lost the Sky Hunter to his Mole Drifter. We got him to single digits, but, I mean, that's not too indicative of us having a great chance against him. We don't have a very good chance at all. But this is nice testing. We can see a little more of how this matchup will play out. He's going to Fisher again. His clock is continuing to tick down. Okay, so we're going to just do the same thing. 9-8. We'll go ahead and pitch a. We'll pitch one of these. Doesn't really matter what we pitch. F6 again. So yeah, this is really burning his clock. As you can see, he's down to about 13 or so minutes. So he's trying to go as fast as he possibly can. Plays another Prophetic Prism. I don't know that that's actually necessary. So we're on one more turn. We're actually dead next turn. But we're still going to go through the paces here. And we'll pitch a land. We'll F6 again. We'll tell him good game. That should pretty much be all she wrote. Actually, it will be all she wrote. He just needs to get a snap. I mean, he doesn't need to get Fisher. But okay. Alright, we'll tell him good game. And he's down to 13 minutes. We're down a game, so we really need to pull back here if we want to have any chance. We need to make some really positive strides. So what we want to take out, Prismatic Strengths, first of all. So reactive. He's not going to be attacking us or dealing a lot of damage unless he's going to Rolling Thunder us or something. We can also cut some number of Journey if we want to bring in additional threats. We've got 30 threats right now. I feel comfortable taking out at least one Journey, maybe two. We don't want to cut any of our creature threats. I'm pretty fine with taking out 2 Journeys and bringing in 2 Rift Watchers here. So what we're going to do is we still have a low curve. We want to be as aggressive as possible. Hopefully take him out with the Guardian's Pledge. None of these other cards are really that great. Standard Bearer. Some people assume that Standard Bearer can get rid of all the Storm copies and force them all to target her, but that is not how it works at all. Because this is choosing targets as part of casting a spell or activating an ability. And when a copy of a spell is made, it's not actually casting a copy or activating an ability. It's just copying the spell. It's a completely different terminology. So let's submit like this. We're going to be on the play, try and beat down. Alright, welcome to game 2. Let's play first here. And this hand looks okay because we've got some Bone Splitters to really do some damage. We've got a 1-drop creature, which is extremely important. Don't have much else, but you know, this is everything's castable. That isn't a 3-drop, and then we also, with another land, can cast everything. The Guardian's Pledge might get there for us. We're almost certainly hitting him with Bone Splitter next turn. He leads on that, so he doesn't have a blue source yet, but that could change. And we're going to go ahead and just swing in here for 3. And then next turn we can swing in for 5. Ooh. Or maybe not, because he has a snap. And now he has a prism, so that's going to buy him a bit of time. Let's see what we draw. We actually draw a plane, so we could go with Rift Watcher, or we could go with Traveler and play out the other splitter. What I like about Rift Watcher is that it gets around Seagate Oracle, and then we can double equip next turn, and we actually hit for 6 rather than 5. So let's do that. And did he not draw land? I think he almost skipped his turn there. But he did find a land. He's got another prism. And he's trying to play super fast so as not to get timed out. What we're going to do is we're going to hit him for 4. We're going to play out both guys. That's more power with more damage with Guardian's Pledge. So we're going to hit him for 4, take him to 14. We play out 2 more guys. Hopefully he doesn't have anything crazy on his turn. With a Guardian's Pledge, that's actually going to deal 6, 9, 12 to him. So it's too shy of killing him. He's got another snap. which is just buying him critical amounts of time. Looks like he's got an Oracle now. He's got a Serrated Arrows. Ouch. That's going to hurt. He's just going to kill our guy now. So I think, I would normally want to Kraken for 5 with the Bone Splitter. Maybe that's what we want to do. We draw another land, so we can Kraken for 3 and play the Rift Watcher. We can also Kraken for 5 with Pledge, but I think cracking in for 3 and playing the Rift Watcher is going to be our best bet. Cracking in for 5 gets him to 9, but we really want to have this second creature on the board, so let's get in for 3. It's going to be tough. I mean, he needs to whiff really hard from here on out. We also have a Journey for Muldrifter, which would be really helpful. So with Pledge now, if we draw a land to equip, okay, he's got Oracle downstairs. We're going to have to fly over that. With a land to, well, okay, we don't need a land to equip now because we're going to equip. That's 4 in the air. We can actually Journey this and equip here, and we hit him for 7. That puts him on 1 turn. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to Arrows our Traveler, so we want to actually try and get rid of this, though I mean, that assumes that he's going to tap out. If he taps out, I think we get rid of the Cloud of Fae for sure. And then we just hit him for 6 up top or 5 or whatever. Alright, so he's at 14. We could Journey and swing with both, but I'm pretty sure we just want to Journey and triple equip the, or double equip the Rift Watcher, and he'll take like 5. We're getting rid of Cloud because Cloud is more conducive to him actually comboing off or whatever. So we're very light on threats. I mean, we got 32 threats in the deck. We've only drawn 3 of them. It's kind of unfortunate for us. We're going to go ahead and F6 here. There's still a chance we can run him out of time. He's going to take it. So Guardian's Pledge is a win. Unfortunately, he has that Arrows left to kind of sit and make sure he doesn't lose. And we only have 1 more swing left with this Rift Watcher, so that's kind of rough. He's got a Muldrifter, looks like. Oh, he's just going to Fisher that. Okay, we still have a Journey. He must have another Fisher. So we're going to try and win on time, it looks like. Which maybe we can do. Actually, looking kind of possible. We're at 26. Okay, he's evoking, but he has Ghostly Flicker around. And then he's going to untap with the Cloud, so we're in real trouble. Real trouble. I don't think this is enough mana for him to play another Fisher, though. Oh man, he does have enough, so he's going to Fisher away everything. Ay, ay, ay. What a nightmare. Alright, so everything we tried to do just completely fell short. I mean, it was close. Oh, looks like he cannot Fisher. He puts 1 on top. And there's a Seagate Oracle for good measure. So, man, this is so rough. Oh, and we have a Squire. I think we can actually win. Oh, if we had a land, we could. We're like close to winning because the Squire would give Exalted, which is 7. The Journey would remove the Muldrifter, and then if he doesn't block with the Cloud of Fae, we could kill him with the Pledge. But that's not going to happen, and that's even through a Serrated Arrows because 7 plus 3 is 10. He pings it down to 1. So we could play the Squire. But right now we have to decide if we're getting rid of Cloud of Fey or if we're getting rid of Mole Drifter. It didn't appear that he had... anything. I'm actually going to Journey. What I'm going to do is attack with both creatures. And if he does not block the Rift Watcher... Well, if he doesn't block both, we actually have him dead. So he may get greedy. I think he probably will block the Doom Traveler, though. But if he does block it, we get a flyer. And he goes down to 1 counter on his arrows or whatever. We are going to take out the Mole Drifter. And we're going to attack with both creatures. So there's a chance we still have victory. Otherwise... we're going to lose the Doom Traveler. Nope, he's just going to block. So we could go for the... Oh, we could go for the Pledge. Then he has to ping this and lose his guy. I think that's probably what we want to do. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. If he ends up pinging the Traveler, he's going to lose. So maybe we can trick him. But, okay, he knew what was up. So he's going to lose another guy. He's going to go to 1. We're going to F6. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. He's going to gain 1,000,000 life, and it's not going to matter. So, let's just F6. He's going to get back Fisher or Flicker. He's going to get back Fisher, so maybe he already has Flicker. So we're just going to F6. He's going to Fisher his own guy. Okay, that's interesting. And Cloud of Fey? Oh, he's going to... Okay. Interesting. And now he can go off? Okay. Let's let him do that. I think we're now officially on the time him out plan, which is probably not going to work, but we can give it a whirl. He has to get us from 28, which is something. Yeah, this might work. Well, we tried. I mean, we weren't... It may have seemed like we were close to winning, but we really weren't that close. Journey's absolutely horrible here when he has access to infinite temporal fissures. Probably not even a reason to play it, but we could to just try and get him to... Okay, he's got Fisher, or Flicker. We could just do it to get him to his clock to run down. This is probably okay. And every time that he has to Flicker a creature, that's one more turn that he cannot attack us. So just let him do this. We're going to lose everything. But can he get us from 26 in 8 minutes? We're going to have to find out. So storm count is 10. He's going to be able to bounce 11 permanents. So that's all of our stuff. We gain another 2 life, which is not irrelevant. We were going to gain it anyway. Depending on whether or not he wants to bounce it. Yeah, he does. We still have 2 bone splitters. He's going to leave those alone. Maybe he forgets to attack for 1, but probably not that likely. It's down to 7 minutes. He's going to be cutting it close. He probably has enough time to win, but we're just going to let him try, see what happens. So these matches tend not to be that exciting. I really apologize. Just not a tremendously exciting matchup to watch. Let's go ahead and play Doom Traveler. And what we're going to do is, the reason we're doing that is because it survives 2 arrow counters. And we'll pitch a land. And we'll F6. And he's got to get us from 27. I mean, he's got 6 power on the board, something crazy like that. So it should be pretty easy to do. He's kind of figured out how to speed up. He's got another arrows. Uh-oh. So we'll just play the same thing again. F6 again. Just kind of rinse, wash, repeat. Looks like he's going to opt to use the arrows here. We'll F6 again. Let him do his thing. We're at 21. We're going to take a lot. We're going to take 7. So we're on a 3-turn clock. He's got a second wall, so now he can start getting back spells constantly. And I think we're going to end up being pretty far short of timing him out. We're actually kind of laggy ourselves. I'm trying to cast this, but it's not working. We actually don't have to pitch a card now. He's actually going to use Ghostly Flicker. Okay. He's got us on a 2-turn clock, so I really don't see him timing out here. We do have a Journey to Nowhere we can use. He can just Ghostly Flicker it away. And now he's got an additional flyer. And he's got a mana war. It's out of nowhere, just throwing a mana war into the mix. Looks like he's still going off. I think we're just going to concede, save you guys some time. I don't think there's any way we can get through this, so we're going to go ahead and concede here. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Sorry that it was not as close of a matchup as you might hope. But we'll see you for the next round. Hopefully we can pull back into this one. Thanks for watching and take care.